Yee, what's going on, guys? Breelu here. Yes, I finally got around to doing my first impressions of Overwatch. Well, I guess of the beta, but obviously that's over now. The full game actually comes out on Tuesday, but they pushed it like a day early, so now it's Monday, so that's cool. But unfortunately I work, so I'm just gonna get it before work, hopefully, and then play the shit out of that, so that'll be kind of fun. But yeah, the gameplay that you guys are going to be seeing in the background is me using Bastion. So this is the full game of the video that I posted like a week ago, where it's titled like 17 kill streak using Zarya. And so this is like the full game where I decided to use Bastion. I never used him before. I've always versed him, and I'm like, okay, this guy's kind of annoying. Let's give him a try. And then we started getting our shit pushed in, and then I changed to Zarya, and you guys sort of already know what's going to happen. But I'll leave a link to it down below if you guys haven't seen it.
Understood.
But yeah, so I do actually have a little bit of notes written down. Not really a script per se, just notes, just so I don't get too sidetracked or too off topic. Even though, you know, obviously like I am right now, I'm getting off topic, but that's besides the point. That's just how I am. And I just decided, you know, a little bit of professionalism, you know, getting a little bit professional, I guess. Just because, like, and hopefully I cut down on the and like stuttering and stuff, because that's why I don't do regular commentaries as much as live comms, just because it's a lot easier to do live comms and just kind of show that rather than a commentary where I have to, like, you know, basically talk to myself for like however long. But yeah, so I don't know, this game is just hella fun. So there aren't really a lot of games that I just like, you know, stop playing Call of Duty and then I just play this one fully, right? Like, there's only been a few for me for a while. So there was like Destiny back when Advanced Warfare was gonna come out, like 2 months before it came out, and then I played the shit out of that. Then there was Rocket League. That was hella, you know, that was hella fun too. I think that was like midway through Advanced Warfare, so that was pretty fun to play the shit on that. And now Overwatch, when the beta had came out, I started to play. I played like the Overwatch beta way more than I did Call of Duty Black Ops 3, so that was kind of cool. But I don't know, it's just a really fun game. It's a really cool mix of like first person shooter and like a MOBA style kind of game. So there's like 21 heroes, each with their own sort of like unique abilities and you know, sort of like passive abilities and all that, like in guns and abilities and whatever. Like, you know, like the guy I'm using is sort of like a robot. He's got like a submachine gun. He can turn into a turret form. He can also use whatever. He can also turn into like a tank. There's Zarya, who's like sort of a support character that I sort of use as my main sort of, and she can like her thing is like gravity stuff. It's kind of cool. There's Genji, which is like a cyber ninja guy. Who's pretty cool. There's Mercy, who's like a angel healer type of person. There's Winston, who's like an ape type of guy. And there's that guy in front of me, who's like he's like a healer, but he's like a weird mage kind of guy. So yeah, I don't know, it's just hella fun, and that's kind of what I like about MOBAs. Like, so I haven't really played too much MOBAs, but I played like Smite here and there, and like I do like how Smite, they kind of have like, you know, every character has like their own unique abilities and whatnot, and strengths and weaknesses, and you gotta play to that. I do really like that. It's kind of cool. Now, there is no single player campaign. I think I did know about this, but I had to look it up just to make sure. Which is kind of like, it's an interesting sort of, I don't want to say tactic, but it's an interesting sort of plan, I guess, because I don't know, there's been quite a lot of that recently. Not recently, but there's been quite a few games where they went for the no story, no campaign, no single player thing, like, and it just kind of flopped because of that sort of thing. Like, so Titanfall and Evolve are like the big two that come to mind, right? And they kind of like failed on that kind of regard of like not actually having a single player story campaign. And I don't know, I'm just like, I don't really, like, to me, I honestly don't really care about that. I don't play single player campaign games very much anymore, even though I am going through like the Uncharted series right now. But that's just like very few. Like, I haven't even beat the Black Ops 3 campaign yet, and it's just like I'm more of a multiplayer type of guy. Like, I probably will make a separate video about this too, this sort of topic, but I just like I don't really find any challenge in defeating AI over and over and over again. Like I enjoy versing real human players that actually pose a challenge, and sometimes obviously not all of them are good, but you know, I don't know. I just like people are just random, and I just enjoy that. But I don't know, like so even though it doesn't really technically have a campaign, it does have sort of a story, I guess. There are animated shorts that you guys can watch on YouTube. I've seen one, and it was actually pretty good. I've not yet watched the other ones. I've seen the Winston one. I haven't seen the other ones, so I'm gonna maybe look that up, see how it is. But it's pretty cool. So like that's sort of how they're getting across their story, which is, you know, it's cool. It's interesting, different sort of way of, I guess, storytelling. And their kind of reason for not putting a campaign too is that, like, if they put a campaign, for some characters it wouldn't be as exciting or as good. So for, like, you know, obviously for like Winston or for Bastion, like it'd be cool to do. But for players like Mercy, where you're a support character and you're a healer, right? It wouldn't really make that much sense to have a campaign around her when you're like your role as Mercy is to heal people and to, you know, to do that. So, you know, like, I do see their point, but you know, I sort of agree with that. Like, I don't think campaigns aren't, for me, they aren't as good, but whatever, let's get beside that. So, yeah, and playing along with the whole MOBA thing, which is, you know, everyone has their own abilities. Everyone has their own roles, so they're split into, like, 4 different kind of, I guess, categories. So there's, like, offense, which is, like, Reaper and Genji and McCree. There's defense, which is like, I think Bastion, Roadhog, and there's a few other. There's tank, which is like Zara. I think Bastion might be considered a tank, even though he's in the defensive section. I think Winston is a tank. Roadhog might be too. And then there's like support, right? Like healers, like Mercy. And there's like a guy with like music abilities, and there's like a sort of mage. So that's cool. I do really like that everyone has like a role. And that, like, when you're picking your character in the beginning, I don't know if you remember that when I was showing it in the beginning, at the beginning of this video, but like it does give you tips too. Like if too many of you guys choose Reaper, it'll be like too many of the same hero chosen. And then if you guys don't have a tank, it'll be like not a tank not chosen. And so it does give you a little bit of tips here and there, and a little bit of help to, like, you know, to help you guys have a full rounded team. Which, I don't know, especially on an online game, which is, if you don't play with friends, that could be a little bit troubling, because then, let's say, one guy doesn't, you know, like, let's say everyone doesn't, like, let's say no one, like, I've had a few of these games where no one chose, like, a support, not a support, but no one chose, like, a healer, so it's, like, kind of like, you're fucked if you guys, you know, it's, you know, obviously if you play with friends, it's gonna be a lot easier, but if you play it with randoms, it might be a little bit harder to play, but I don't know. You and you can always change your character too, right in the middle of game, which is what I did. Like I was Bastion, and then I changed to Zara. You can change it when you die, and you can change it if you run back to your spawn, and you know, just go inside the little like health bubble thing, whatever. So that is cool. I do really like that. The only thing is that some of the tanks, even though they're tanks and they're supposed to, like, you know, tanks are supposed to tank damage, right? And they have a lot of health, and, you know, obviously by their name, they're supposed to take a lot of damage and they have a lot of health. Most of them can heal. Like Roadhog can heal, Bastion can heal, like themselves, and someone else can heal. Oh, this girl, the ice girl, May can heal too. She's a tank. I don't think tank should heal. I don't know, like. Because, you know, there's, like, different roles, so there's, like, the support guy, which is supposed to heal and whatever, but he doesn't do a lot of damage, he's a little bit weak, right? There's, the attack players, which do a lot of damage, but they can kind of die. They don't have a lot of health. Then there's tanks and defensive characters who have a lot of health, but maybe they don't do a lot of damage. Like, tanks, I think, are a little bit too overpowered in this game. Not overpowered, but, like, they have a lot of health. They do quite a decent amount of damage, and yeah, and they can, most of them can heal themselves. Like, it's just, I don't think that should be in the game. I don't know, like, let me know what you guys think. And now the game modes, there's like Assault, which is there's like little capture points that you guys are supposed to capture. You capture one, then you capture the other one, then you win. There's escort, which is kind of what we're playing. So there's a payload. One team defends. One team has to escort the payload to the to the drop point or to the escort zone or whatever. There's a control, which is, I don't know, I kind of like control, even though it was like we didn't get to play it a lot. Unfortunately, I kind of wish that control would be put more into the rotation, but it was kind of like hardpoint and S&D, like a mix of it. So the thing with so the thing with control is that both of you guys are in the spawn, both of you guys get let out at the same time, and there's like a control point in the middle of the map that both of you are trying to get, right? And I thought it was just pretty fun, just because I don't know. And then like once you guys captured it, you guys would move on to like round 2, and then if the other team won, you guys move on to round 3. So I thought that was kind of cool. Unfortunately, we didn't get to play it that much, so I wish that the kind of rotation of the maps would, or the rotation of the game modes would play that. Then there's like another mode, which it's kind of assault / escort, like it's kind of a mix of the two, which is the one that I'm actually playing right here in this game. So you saw in the first one there was like that capture point, and then we lost it, right? So their thing was that they had to go capture the capture point, and then a payload came out. Then they had to escort it to the zone right there, and that's what obviously happened. This game mode played a lot. This and escort played a lot, which like I can see why, because that's more of like an actual objective based. Because after a while, the control started kind of turned into whatever it was called. It kind of turned into a little bit of TDM, a little bit. But yeah, that's sort of like the game actual stuff. I'm gonna get on to like, this is a little bit more my opinion stuff. So Mei, I think like so for the most part, everyone is basically balanced pretty well. No one's really too overpowered, but I think that there's a few things that I think that should be fixed in here. So I think Mei is pretty overpowered. If you guys don't think so, there's something wrong with you. Like she's really good at close range. She's good like long range. Like that's not her specialty, but she's pretty good too. She can hit you from there. And like I don't know, it's just like she's a tank, so she takes a lot of damage, and she can heal herself if she wants. It's just I don't know. I don't think that that's a good sort of thing to do. And like, okay, so she has kind of like a flamethrower, but obviously she's ice. So like she can, if you get really close to her, she starts like freezing you with her ice thing, and then if she hits you long enough with it, you freeze down long enough, and then you get frozen solid, right? But the thing is that happens all the time. It's guaranteed to happen. Like I think that's just overpowered. Alright, yeah, I just think that that's overpowered as heck, as all hell. It's just like we don't need someone who can, like, I don't know, like it's all the time. Like if you're within a certain range, she just always freezes you. It's so damn annoying. It happens all the time, and then she freezes you, and then she just goes into her long shot form, and then she just hits you in the head, and you're basically dead. Like you're dead if you have nobody helping you to take her on. And like I don't know, my way of balancing it would be to maybe make her RPM on her gun go down, or make it kind of like, to make her a freezing thing to where it's kind of like Pokemon, to where it's not always a guaranteed chance of you getting frozen if she hits you long enough with her thing. So Pokemon, if someone hits you with an ice beam, there's like a certain percentage chance that like you'll get frozen from that attack, or a certain percent chance that you get burnt, or certain percent chance that you get paralyzed from like an elemental attack or something. I think that they should do that with that. Like there's a 17% chance that you get frozen each time that happens or whatever. And I don't know. And then I think she would be balanced. But right now she's basically a tank. She's just a god. She's like a tank attack person. It's just kind of annoying. And now McCree, of course I'm going to talk about him a little bit. He's not too overpowered. He's apparently he was a lot better in the PC beta, like before the console beta came out. He was apparently a lot more overpowered. Like his he did like a lot more damage and whatever. So he's not too overpowered, but like he can hit you from long range too, and so he has like an alternate fire. He's kind of like a cowboy kind of guy, and his ultimate fire is that he can like hold L2, and he kind of shoots his entire burst off in really quickly. Now the thing with that is that, so all his abilities basically complement each other. So like he has a little stun, so if you're stupid enough to get close to him, like he can take out tanks and just basically anyone with this, is he hits you with a stun, and then you're stunned for a good like 1 to 2 seconds, and then he hits you with the with the alternate fire, like unloads his entire burst, entire bullet into you. Then he has his other abilities that he can do like a roll thing. I guess it's sort of like an evasion kind of thing, but he can roll, and then as he's rolling, he reloads his entire gun. So if he has 0 bullets in his gun, he just automatically has 6 when he comes out of the roll, and it's a really fast roll and does no animation of reload. Like he doesn't have to do the reload animation. So what he does is he just stuns you for the good thing, then hits you with his like 6 bullet, really quick. Then he does the roll, so he gets all 6 bullets back. Then he hits you with the burst again, and you're basically dead. You can take out like almost anyone with that. It's freaking ridiculous. Like I don't know. I just think it should be toned down. I think that should maybe it shouldn't stun you for so long. I don't know. I don't know how you'd fix him. Other than that, he's not too broken. And the Bastion, which is this guy that I'm being, he's pretty overpowered. For the most part, he isn't too bad. Like he has a heal thing and he has a submachine gun. But when he goes in this form which is so annoying, like he can go into a turret form, which he can just spray you down, and it does a lot of damage. And he can spray you down, and I don't know, like it's just kind of overpowered in my opinion, just because it does a lot of damage, and like I don't know, just like it does a lot of damage, and it's just kind of OP, overpowered. It's just because he can go in and out of it whenever he wants. There's no right. I can just go into it, and then I can go into the turret farm, get out of turret farm, and there's basically no penalty. The only downside of going to turret farm is that Bastion has no mobility, so he can't move when he's in that form. So that's kind of good, but it does a lot of damage, and it's pretty good. So I don't know, like I don't think it should be in the game really. I don't know. I just don't think it should be in the game. My way of kind of balancing it would be, if he went into turret form, there's maybe and then he goes out of turret form, maybe there's like a cooldown to when he can go back into turret form again. Maybe like a 10 second cooldown. Because that's what usually most players have. So if you use an ability, you have, there's a cooldown to when you can use it again, right? And that's sort of what keeps things balanced, because then everyone would just be using abilities whenever they wanted. But that's sort of what Bastion can do, is he can just use abilities. He can just go into turret form whenever he wants. So either do that, or make it to where if he goes into turret form, he only has 10 seconds to be in the turret form, and then it kicks him out of, there's a cooldown of 10 seconds, and then it kicks him out of turret mode. I think that would be good too. Or maybe both. You could stick them both on there. I think that would make him, that would make it a little bit more balanced, and wouldn't make him so overpowered. Because you can have I mean, one Bastion isn't too overpowered, but if you have oh my god, because you can have 6 players on one team. Let's say you're playing defense, right? And I'm pretty sure that this is probably going to happen. Because I'm going to try this too when the actual game comes out. But you can have, let's say you have 3 Bastions, so you can have 6 players on one team, right? It's a 6v6. Let's say you have 3 Bastions on one team, right? And you're playing escort and you're defending and you're waiting for them to come out of spawn, right? And each of you are watching one of the doors that they come out of, right? Then you have one guy who comes out and he's or maybe you have 2 guys that come out and they're I forgot his name. I don't think it's Junkrat, but it's the guy, he can build turrets, and then he can bump it up to make it level 2, level 3 turrets. Change it to and then put 2 of him, put 2 turrets there, and then maybe the 6th guy choose a mercy so he can run around and heal people. Imagine how overpowered that would be. That'd be pretty freaking overpowered, man. that'd be pretty dumb and just stupid in my opinion. But yeah, other than that, everyone else seems pretty balanced. Everyone is pretty well balanced, and no one's too overpowered. Even those little things, it's not too bad. Although it's still a little bit game breaking. Sometimes they're a little bit overpowered, and I feel. But yeah, so that's basically it. Oh, and competitive. I almost forgot. But yeah, I almost forgot. I didn't see this in the beta. It wasn't. We weren't allowed to play it, but in the actual official Overwatch website, there is a competitive playlist that they have in there. I don't know why they didn't put it in the beta, but I don't know. I think that'd be pretty cool. I'm definitely gonna give it a try, see how it is. Definitely gonna play it with friends because you know, you're gonna want to win. I'm not sure, like, because this game it was originally PC, and then they actually decided to do it on a console, which is kind of cool. But I don't know, like, I really hope that if there is a competitive scene for this game, that it is on PS4. Because I actually might want to try to give this game a try on competitive. I think it'd be kind of cool. And I don't know, even if it's on PC, I think it'd still be kind of cool to actually see the meta and the like pro players that come out of playing Overwatch, that go into playing Overwatch, and like I want to just see like how good they are and the strats that they come up with, and then teams and just like the players, the characters that they choose, and the mains and the strategies that they come up with. Like, I think that'd be really fucking cool. I don't know why, but that would just be so. Yeah, sorry for the longer-ish video. I didn't realize I was gonna talk this much, but you know, it always happens like that. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed anyway. That's sort of my first impressions. You know, like I said, the full game comes out on Monday, so you know, obviously I'll get a few games out for you then when it comes out. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and we will see you guys in the next one. Peace!